Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Monday, August 14th, 2023. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Monday, everyone. Here's a look at the ES in the daily time frame here. You'll notice since the beginning of August here, we've had steady weakness here throughout the first part of the month. In the previous week and really in the past 6-7 days here, we've had some significant rejections at the upper edge of this range, really sealing off the previous market structure up above, making resistance here and now testing the edges to the bottom. This is going to be important here. The first rally of the week will be very important to see how does the market respond. Do we see a selling of the morning strength that could lead to another rotation downward? Again, ever since the previous month's close was offered, we've dropped straight into the mid. The mid hasn't gone bid, and instead we've been below the mid. That would suggest a continuation to the previous month's low. So again, if any strength here is sold, we could be looking at a continuation down toward the previous month's low up ahead. Now keep an eye on this overnight high right now. That pre-market high is the London Open high, strong high early on. If price is able to push through that high, we get a little bit of traction to the upside, maybe as high as the previous week's high, and at that point again, given the downtrend, that could be another opportunity to push this thing down. So right now, at least in the near term, bears have the upper hand with the potential to continue pushing this thing down unless we can really push back above 4,500 with some juice, and then again through 4,550. Taking a look here at the NQ. Very similar price action. This one has remained bearish throughout the month, taking the previous close offered, dropping through the previous month's midpoint, rejecting prices back above it on a retest, and continuing downward to the previous month's low, reaching it on Friday, and then again here in pre-market trading. So we've already gotten the continuation down to the previous month's low. If you look at the previous month's lows in a very strong bull trend, you rarely hit the previous month's low. In a very strong uptrend, right? If this is a strong uptrend, this is the previous month's low, never got there. Previous month's low, never got there. Here's the previous month's low here, and here you can see how far off it is. So to test the previous month's low in what should be a strong uptrend is either a great opportunity for a rejection and a continuation, or it's a big warning sign of more weakness to come. So this is going to be an important area here to keep an eye on. If we do get a strong rejection at the edge, there could be a bounce back to the previous month's midpoint up ahead for a retest, especially back at the FOMC after taking it offered. So right now, still trending down until we can get ourselves a pretty good reaction down here that could slingshot us back up for a retest back at 15,550. All right, taking a look here at crude oil. Crude oil right now down 1% at the moment. The previous rejection up here was significant. It was an outside day, briefly closed just above the previous low by the end of the day. Big time rejection. You can see right there the retest at the midpoint and of prices of 83.52, and then price dropping down. This little setup here, or this little reversal, is very similar to something we saw very recently back here off the same level. Eventually, when price was no longer able to hold 80.50, things dropped off. So again, 80.50 is going to be the big time level here, but we're starting to see a little bit of signs of reaction up here at these highs. One thing to keep an eye on is the bullish PIMA trigger zone. Every time price has been inside this PIMA trigger zone, it has been able to reverse out of the zone. We're in there right now. Does price reverse out of it, or do we fail a bit deeper? If price can't find a way here to get back above the 83.52, we might be working for a little bit of a turnaround here up ahead. So keep an eye on that edge. If we take a look at gold futures, gold here breaking down back below 1960, is now approaching 1940. I mentioned before, gold is a little fuzzy in here. It does have some decent levels, but again, not the strongest clear edges anymore. It had some much better, stronger edges. Right now, 1940 is about as good as it gets. 1960 here was taken down into the zone, but again, the lower edge of the zone about 1940. Going to be a key level to watch here A failure through that level opens up the recent lows. That'll be a test back at 1900 here. So very clear that of prices above 2000, they've been rejected. A hard push back down. So any bounce right now could be a selling opportunity as price likely attempts to approach the previous month's low below. Lastly, taking a look here at the YM. The YM right now showing tremendous compression over a long stretch of time. This is about a 3-week range, if not more. The finished range is actually 18 days. Today would be the 19th day. So if we don't get above this high, and if we don't get below recent lows, it's going to be an 18 or 19 day narrow range. So this narrow range right here, compression here, suggests a move of at least 1,500 points of range, maybe 2,000 points once we see expansion, which means if we break down through 35K, we're dropping pretty hard, right, to the next level down, 33.8. It's going to be a big move. If we drop and reject hard, one of these types of rejections, for example, that could be a huge continuation to the upside. Are we on this edge again before we rally to the upside? This right here was about a 2,000 point move. That's about what's coming up ahead. So you get 2,000 up, you compress for another potential 1,500 to 2,000. We could be looking at big time movement ahead. But for now, we're stuck in the range. The previous week's midpoint is going to be important. All in this zone. It's all right here. So again, keep an eye on this area. YM could continue to trade back and forth, back and forth. The upper edge up here, very hard rejections. So we could be bouncing back and forth, but once we get that expansion, it's going to be a huge move. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the week. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.